Hi, I'm Julie Weber of Liberate Ministries, and today's topic is called Finding Life and Purpose. This is video 1 of a 2-part video series. Some of this information is quoted from my Lady Liberty workbook on pages 115 through 117. I recently heard Nicholas Kristof, American journalist, author, and Pulitzer Prize winners speak at the University of Minnesota. He tells the story of a young teenage woman with pregnancy complications that caused her to be an outcast in her village. She had to crawl 20 miles to get help. She was taken to a hospital and she began to recover. Soon she was a healed, lively teenager with a lot of energy, so they gave her volunteer-type errands to do in the hospital. She handled the errands quite well, and they noticed she was a quick learner. So they gave her more work as she continued to heal and grow and develop even more skills. Today, she is a director in that hospital. She went from a wounded state to being an asset to her community and nation. So where do you go after you get healed from your abortion experience? How can you find fresh life and purpose? Well, let's talk about on being blessed and broken. Being blessed. If a person only knows blessings in their life and hasn't experienced natural human hardship, they will have a hard time feeling compassion for someone who is hurting. It will make it difficult for them to empathize with what the hurting person is going through. They will get impatient with people when they have to listen, humble themselves, and try to feel what the other person is going through. For example, think back when you ever struggled with a problem in your life and you tried to share it with someone who has never had to deal with a difficult situation in their own life. It didn't go well, did it? Well, why is that? I've known people who just seem to sail through life. They appear to have all the resources, relationships, and life circumstances so that everything works out great for them all of the time. In the good times, these people are fun to hang around. However, when trying to share your struggles with them, it is hard for them to relate. Why? It is because they haven't experienced it, nor had to overcome anything similar in their own life. Being broken. The opposite is also true. If they have only known brokenness, then they will have a hard time sharing about faithfulness, hope, and the joy of the Lord. It will make it difficult for them to impart life to people because they can't get past the constant pull of the weighed down feelings that come with suffering. Encouraging others to have faith and hang on for any kind of a healing or walking through a lengthy, difficult trial when they will want to quit will be tough. For example, it is hard to share your problem with a person who has only known brokenness, struggle, and hasn't overcome anything in their life. They will not be able to relate to your desire to resolve the problem and move on in life. They can only share out of their struggle and will not be able to speak of the faithfulness, hope, and joy of the Lord. You may share a common problem with the person, but you both are no closer to a solution. Often often these people aren't so fun to be around because of the constant troubled feelings that come with suffering. For these deeply broken people, it is difficult for them to encourage others to press through for a solution to their problem until they experience a similar breakthrough of the Lord's power. Similar struggle. Now, think back to a time when you have shared a problem with someone who has gone through a similar struggle successfully. The conversation went better, right? Maybe both of you had to deal with a relationship breakup or a common health issue. In these situations, there is an immediate connection and a sense that, hey, this person understands because they have been there too. So how does this relate to me? Well, when you have been blessed, experienced some success in areas of your life, and been broken, had to overcome some difficulty in your life, you become a valuable tool to God. People can relate to you because you know that you have been there, and they want to hear how you made it through your struggles. Also, you can relate to people because you remember what it felt like to struggle. And as the result, you are able to encourage and empathize and comfort others. So you will be more patient and able to listen and equipped to empathize with them. This is the type of person who we should try to be like. You may be saying that because of the past, you do not have much to offer to society and the people around you. And this type of defeated attitude is not true and can stop you short of your full potential in life. God uses our past and our struggles to shape us into people who can help others. Have you ever heard that saying, if it doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger? That statement may seem harsh, but it is most often true. Going through a tough situation does make us stronger and better able to deal with adversity in our lives. Others all around you are experiencing the same struggles that you have been through. So when you have known both blessings and brokenness in life, then you will be content with helping all kinds of people because you have experienced both the high times and the low times with Jesus. This is especially true in the area of abortion. Millions of people are going through life wounded, looking for help. They can't find someone to relate to because of the secrecy and the shortage of people who have received healing for the trauma of abortion. That is why you may find that the Lord wants you to be healed of the after effects of the abortion, both for your sake and for others you will come in contact with in the future. You never know when you will be needed to share your healing experience with them. Dare to dream again. Have you stopped dreaming? Have you cut back on your dreams? Settle for less? Sometimes when we have been hurt or wounded, like in the case of an abortion, we want to play it safe in life. No way do I want to be hurt again. Last time I did that, I got burned. I'll settle for what I know I can do easily, but not stretch to do things that are hard. So part of the reason we are spending time on the topic of the purpose is to encourage you to go for it again in life. Luke 9:26 in the Bible reads, he said, "That's what I mean. Risk your life and get more than you ever dreamed of. Play it safe and end up holding the bag." The Bible principle here is to not let our abortions hold us back from our purpose in life. The negative effects of our abortion might have held us back at one time, but not anymore. It's time to dream again. Driven by fear. Well, author Rick Warren says that fear can keep us from our purpose. Many people are driven by fear. These fears may be a result of a traumatic experience, an unrealistic expectation, growing up in a high control home, or even genetic predisposition. Regardless of the cause, fear-driven people often miss great opportunities because they're afraid to venture out. Instead, they play it safe, avoiding risk and trying to maintain the status quo. Fear is a self-imposed prison that will keep you from becoming what God intends you to be. The only way to defeat fear is to move against it in the spiritual weapons of faith and love. The Bible says in 1 John 4:18, well-formed love banishes fear. Since fear is crippling, a fearful life, fear of death, fear of judgment, is one that is not yet fully formed in love. Okay, I'm too old. Many people are driven by the belief that they're too old. They say, I wish I would have done that when I was younger. I've missed it. I could never do that at this age. Sound familiar? Do you know what you want to do, but aren't doing it because you feel you are too old? Going back to school, changing jobs, trying something new is rarely out of the question. It is important that we remember that developing ourselves by going after our purpose is a journey, not a destination. We never really arrive, but find that there is more to be discovered every step we take. So once we think we have arrived, God gives us more to do. So don't let your age stop you from pursuing your purpose. Remember Abraham in the Bible. He became the father of a nation of Israel at the age of 100 years old. In Genesis 17:17, you can find that story. If he can father a nation at that age, you can certainly go after your purpose. The formula for finding life and purpose. Purpose is defined as the object toward which one strives for, which something exists, an aim or a goal. There is no magic formula that you can follow and 15 minutes later you are walking fully in your purpose. Finding your purpose is a process. And we've already talked about how being both blessed and broken makes us valuable to God. So for the rest of the lesson, let's explore a few more ingredients that we will need to discover in life and purpose. Okay, so being blessed and broken, plus natural abilities, plus spiritual gifts, plus maturity in time, plus the leading of God, equal finding life and purpose. Thanks for watching. Live life liberated.